Has anybody seen any good mugshots lately? I think that this is going to go down in history as the most famous mugshot in the entire world, in the history of planet Earth. This mugshot, let's bring it up on the screen to take a look at it. There were so many fake mugshots that were circulating on X, formerly known as Twitter, the night that Trump surrendered to Fulton County Jail. And many of them were very good. But when this one came out and it was official, I was like, man, oh man, man, oh man. Since this mugshot was released, President Trump has raised over $7.1 million. $7.1 million. He raised $4 million on Friday alone, which is a record. This according to Politico. Let me read this from Politico. Donald Trump has turned his Georgia mugshot into a record-breaking fundraising haul. The former president has raised $7.1 million, and this was from the 26th, this article, by the way, has raised $7.1 million since he was booked at an Atlanta jail Thursday evening. According to figures provided first to Politico by his campaign, on Friday alone, Trump raised $4.18 million, making it the single highest 24-hour period of his campaign to date. The campaign's fundraising has been powered by merchandise it has been selling through its online store. After Trump was taken into custody, the campaign began selling shirts, posters, bumper stickers, and beverage coolers bearing Trump's scowling mugshot. The items bear the tagline, "Never Surrender," and range in price from $12 to $34. I think we can all agree that it's completely genius for Trump to have a merchandise line based on this. He also returned, and you have to wonder if this fundraising haul was based partially on what you are seeing on the screen right now. This is President Trump's triumphant return to X, formerly known as Twitter. This really is a triumphant return. President Trump was banned from Twitter under Jack Dorsey following January 6th, or on January 6th or January 7th. He was reinstated by Elon Musk, but he never tweeted. He never returned. He was simply allowed to return, but he claimed that he wanted to be exclusive to Truth Social. I suspect that it's because he has contractual obligations to Truth Social and not because he has anything against coming back to X. But he returns to X with the following post. It reads, it's his mugshot, of course. And it reads, mugshot, August 24th, 2023, election interference, never surrender, DonaldJTrump.com. And the caption is DonaldJTrump.com. Now, this post on X has been viewed 249 million times. 249 million pairs of eyeballs have seen this post. So I think we've solved the mystery of why President Trump has grossed this amount in fundraising, because, and I'm interested to know if you feel the same way, I didn't know exactly what to expect when President Trump, when we anticipated that President Trump would have his mugshot taken in Fulton County, Georgia. I thought, well, that's an indignity. I thought that's humiliating. There's no reason that they need a mugshot. Everyone in the world knows what Donald Trump looks like. He's arguably the most famous person on earth. The only reason to do that is because the left, who controls the law enforcement apparatus, is weaponizing that to target him, to try to humiliate him and take him down. And they're trying to treat him like a common criminal, hoping that he will break, hoping that he will recant the claims that he made about the 2020 presidential election being stolen. And I was glad in Manhattan and during these other indictments when President Trump didn't have a mugshot. Yet, when this mugshot was released, my feelings were not what I expected them to be. This mugshot, let's just say, backfired on the left. Tremendously, exponentially backfired on the left, because as soon as I saw this, I thought, okay, that was what was missing from the GOP debate. That face, that scowl, those pairs of eyes, that defiance, the unwillingness to back down, even when your political enemies are trying to crush you using the power of the U.S. government. I mean, if you don't feel somewhat invigorated by that, Joel Pollock posted this on X. Let me read you this. He said, before, it felt like the mugshot would be the worst thing they could do, the lowest indignity. Now that they've done it, there's almost a sense of excitement. Like they've taken their best shot and the guy is still standing. The fear is gone, replaced by the thrill of the fight. Joel is exactly right. That is exactly how I feel. He encapsulated it perfectly. And I compare it to how I felt after the debate just the day before. Wednesday night's GOP debate in Milwaukee. Afterward, I felt annoyed. I felt bored. I felt demoralized. Like, oh my gosh, all of these losers up on the stage. None of them gets it. None of them can save the country. Like, nobody wins here. I felt annoyed and demoralized. And after this mugshot, I feel reinvigorated. And not, by the way, because I'm some diehard loyalist on the Trump train. Not at all. I think President Trump handled COVID the worst he could possibly have handled it during his fourth year of his presidency. And I can't get past that. That's not something I can brush under the rug. That's not something that I can dismiss. That's something that we are feeling the harmful repercussions of to this day that he could have prevented as president of the United States. And I can't just ignore that. So it's not because I'm some diehard loyalist to President Trump. It's because when we see that mugshot of President Trump, it's a visual representation that causes a visceral reaction in our guts because we know that they want to do that to us. We know that just like in 2015, when President Trump stood before the American people, not as a politician, but just as a rich guy and said, listen, I've been in this elitist club. I know that they cheat and I know they're deliberately screwing you over. So now I'm going to stand in the line of fire, in their line of fire on your behalf and stand up for you. And so many Americans for the first time were like, yes, I feel seen. I have a champion, someone who's willing to take the punches to stand up for me. That's how this mugshot, that's the feelings that are evoked by this mugshot. Once again, President Trump is standing in this line of fire that these government officials, these radical leftists, these Marxists, these evil people in charge of our government actually want to come after us. And yet President Trump's face is the one in that mugshot because he's standing between those evil government officials and us. And those are the 2015 feelings all over again. Now, the Fulton County Jail, by the way, that the left is celebrating the fact that President Trump surrendered to this jail. The Fulton County Jail was actually in the crosshairs of the left. They were criticizing the Fulton County Jail not too long ago. Just a couple months ago, the left had this in their crosshairs as a violator of civil rights because 3 inmates, this is according to justthenews.com, 3 inmates in the month of August were found unresponsive in cells in the Fulton County Jail before being pronounced dead. That's significant. This is what Just the News reports. Before liberals cheered Donald Trump's booking at the Fulton County Jail this month, they were decrying the facility's deplorable conditions that have led to numerous deaths and an ongoing federal civil rights investigation. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office in Atlanta announced last week that a 66-year-old inmate named Alexander Hawkins was found unresponsive in a medical unit cell before being pronounced dead. Medical personnel were unsuccessful at attempts to revive Hawkins, and he died, the sheriff's department said. It was the 3rd death this month in the jail and the 7th since the beginning of the year, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. 2 other inmates who passed away this month include Christopher Smith and Monte Stinson. Smith was found unresponsive in a medical unit cell on August 10th and passed away at a hospital on August 11th. Stinson was also found unresponsive in his cell on July 31st at around 11:45 p.m. According to a release from the sheriff's department, he was found with no obvious signs of injury. Last month, the U.S. Department of Justice launched a civil rights investigation into the conditions of the jail to determine if any rights of prisoners were being violated. The DOJ said there were credible allegations that, quote, Fulton County Jail is structurally unsafe, that prevalent violence has resulted in serious injuries and homicides, and that officers are being prosecuted for using excessive force. Hi guys, it's Liz Wheeler. Don't forget to watch my show, The Liz Wheeler Show, every night at 7 p.m. on the First TV. You can download the free First TV app, or you can visit thefirsttv.com/Liz and start watching today.